Hello and welcome to Real Trail Talk. I'm Alissa D'Souza from The Long Ways Better, taking over from Don and Mark for a special International Women's Day edition. It's episode 35 and I'm honoured to be in the room with some amazing women. Today we have Michelle Ryan from WalkingTwoByTwo.
Hello.
Bonny Wells from Wild Western Australia and soon to be a new blog out, Friendly Drop Bear.
Hello.
And fellow hiker Louise Jorgensen.
Hey there.
Since today's topic is all about our perspective and experience as female hikers, I thought maybe we could start tonight by sharing our favourite hiking experience so far. And I've had a little bit of a think about this. And for me personally, my favourite experience is our recent hiking in Tasmania, hiking up Frenchman's Cap, which was both terrifying and amazing at the same time. There was a lot of moments where I doubted myself and definitely had a few question marks about whether I could finish it. And actually, I didn't get to the top of Frenchman's Cap, but I was really proud of myself because it really pushed me to my limit, that uphill section from Vera to Tarhoon.
Yes, I know that section well. That is really, really hard.
Yeah, I'm not one for hikes that go up. I kind of like more undulating. I like kind of a bit more variety. And I think at that point, being the second day where I was already a bit sore, and then we were going quite an I can't remember the elevation, but it was quite a task going all the way up. So I was really proud of myself. So for that reason, that's been my most favourite experience.
And you saw a quoll too.
I did see a quoll, a spotted quoll. I was really lucky at Lake Vera in the morning. We were just getting ready, packing up for the day, for the morning, getting ready to go out, and just walking along the boardwalk was this quoll. It saw me, didn't think much, and then, kept going. It was really cute. Yeah. So what about you, Michelle? What's been one of maybe your favourite experiences so far?
Like I said to you before, I find that question really difficult.
Yeah.
Because I've had so many journeys and so many amazing experiences. There's a few that really do come to mind when you say that, though. And on one of my last trips, the Alps to Adria, we were spending the day basically traversing the mountains. And on our way up, we could see up in the distance the peak, the summit. And at each summit, there was they'd have a cross. So this particular day was 6 summits that we were doing. And it was quite amazing as we were walking up. We could see in the distance these horses, and they were just hanging around the cross. And as we got closer and closer, we realised it was 2 mamas and 2 babies.
Aww.
And they came running over to us. And yeah, so we got to pat them, and that was really special.
That sounds
to walk
magical.
Up there. But it didn't end there. As we were walking along, they followed. And they kept walking with us for a while, which was even better. And then further on later that day, we came across some more. So yeah, it was pretty amazing to come across these horses just randomly up in the mountains.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing your photo.
Yeah, the day of
that.
6 summits. Yeah, it was a pretty amazing day. It was a hard day. We got into the town that night, was nearly 9 o'clock. I could barely walk by then. My feet were killing me. But it was the best day of that trip. It was just incredible, absolutely incredible. Yeah.
Is that hike considered a Camino?
No.
Okay.
No,
I thought maybe they were like your spirit animals guiding you along the path.
No, but that's a good thought. Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
No, I've had a dog walk with me for about 10 kilometres in Portugal.
Wow.
That was pretty amazing because I was by myself and he was just a random wild dog, and he decided to come over and say hello to me, and I've got my sticks in the air waving them around saying, go away, don't come near me, thinking, wild dog, he's going to attack. And for about 10 kilometres he walked alongside me, and near the roads he chased the cars away like he was protecting me. And yeah, but he gave me up for a blonde.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. There was a blonde dog, and that was it. Never saw him again.
Always the way.
Boys.
I'm sensing a theme now where it's all about the hiking, but then it's also about an animal
It's
experience.
about the animals.
What about yourself, Bonny?
I also find it really hard to think of just one thing. One, can I say more than one?
No, go for it.
All right, well,
Why
I'll say
not?
one was similar. You reminded me of going up Frenchman's Cap, and I had a similar experience. I woke up with a horrible flu, and I almost didn't do it, and I felt so sick. So in some ways it was the worst, but it was also the best because it was really hard climbing up to Barren Pass, and I was having asthma attacks, and I almost turned back.
Oh my gosh.
So I was so sick, and I thought maybe it's not safe. I don't know. But in the end, I was about to turn back, and then my friend said, look up, and I looked up and I could see the quartzite
dome.
peaks.
Yep.
And because it was just all in the rainforest up until then, in the shadows, couldn't really see any views. And then I stepped out onto Barren Pass, and it was the most beautiful view I'd ever seen. And it sounds really corny, but because it had been so difficult and it was all suddenly so beautiful, I cried. And I was a bit embarrassed. But that was nice. And then the other one I thought of is in Western Australia on the Mamang Trail. But I did that in July last year, and I knew there were going to be lots of whales, but I was absolutely amazed by the whales. I could not believe it. We saw over 50 of them, and they were all mother-child pairs. Some of them, they were like 50 metres from the beach, just behind the wave line, and it was a beautiful, calm day when the ocean was like silky smooth, and most of them were just sitting around resting, but every now and then the little child whales would jump up and slap their tails in the water and things, and all the way along like to the next bay as well.
Awesome.
There's so many whales.
Oh, isn't Mamang Aboriginal Australian for whale?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it's quite fortuitous that you see these amazing whales on the Mamang Trail.
Yes, it's aptly named.
Yeah.
If you go in winter anyway.
Well, I think
and it was so good, I want to go back again this year.
Yes. I think we're heading off there coming up in Easter.
Yay.
Yeah, not quite the Mamang Trail, but I think we're doing kind of
the Hakea Trail.
Yeah, we're doing the
I did
Hakea.
the Hakea Trail with Louise.
Yeah, we had an awesome
really
time.
Good. Yeah.
Motivated me to go back and do Mamang.
Yeah, you should.
Yep, and I was back down at Hakea a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, awesome. So, Lou, what's one of your favourite hiking experiences that you can maybe pinpoint? Because I know you've had some amazing ones.
I'm relatively new to the hiking game. Only been hiking for about 5 years or so. But hey, I'm kind of one of these people, go hard or go home. So Nepal, why not?
Go
the girl that lives at sea level, can't climb anything over, Bluff Knoll, decides to go to Nepal and do Gokyo-ri and the Chola Pass.
Amazing.
So I'd have to say that's pretty memorable for a couple of reasons. Some good, some not so good. The good was once you fly into Lukla, a very interesting airport, and you realise you're up in the most beautiful mountains. There is no road noise around you whatsoever. There are no cars, no motorbikes. It's just beautiful peace. The only noise you really hear is the yaks or pony teams transporting goods up and down the mountain. The absolute peace up there is amazing. I've never felt anything like it. I met some lovely people while we were travelling and managed to get to the top of Gokyo-ri. And 2 days later, while travelling over the Chola Pass, my body gave up on me and I had high altitude pulmonary edema and ended up being a helicopter evac back down to Kathmandu. So that was the end of my trip. Hey, it was still a great trip and I'll be back soon, I hope.
Yeah, these experiences where you're like, you have those moments of weakness or moments where you doubt yourself, they're still
relevant and, cliche.
Yep.
Whatever.
Most memorable experience doesn't have to be necessarily.
Can only make you stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, definitely planning to go back.
Yeah.
Not sure where I'll go, but definitely back to Nepal, and got my guide sorted and waiting for me to book. Just got to get some time off work.
It's really exciting.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to it.
I was hoping that maybe Don and Mark can get a Foley artist and create some yak sounds underneath that story.
Yeah, if they could get some yak bells.
What do yaks even sound like?
I don't know. I was like, as you said it, I nearly did a yak noise and then I went, no.
What is a yak noise
I
apart
d-
from vomiting?
That's what I would do.
I can't actually say I heard them bellow, but the yak
Don's going to
bells.
regret having me host
Yeah,
this
he is.
podcast a bit later.
You're going to love editing this, aren't you?
Yeah, you can add some nice dramatic music underneath the whole podcast. I thought maybe we'd talk about a point of conversation it's often brought up online, and when people hear about women going out long distance hiking by themselves, often there's lots of questions and concerns, and I just thought that might be a really interesting topic to talk about in terms of how you guys feel about hiking by yourself. I know I myself have never, I think I've done one day hike by myself, but other than that I've always been hiking with Don. It's kind of something we've always done together, so I'd love to hear from your perspectives as to how you feel about hiking by yourself, or how others feel about you hiking by yourself.
Well, I'm a huge fan of solo hiking.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
I do. I love hiking with my hubby Mark. He's a great hiking buddy. I love hiking with my friends, but I really love solo hiking. Yeah, I love getting out there and being me.
Yeah.
And just, it's hard to explain. Have you girls done a solo?
Yeah, lots. I love
Yeah.
solo hiking as well. Even though I also do lots of hiking with other people.
Yeah.
But there's something very special about solo hiking.
There is, isn't there?
Yeah.
You get to be at one with yourself, I suppose you could say.
I think you also have more of a connection to your surroundings and to nature
Yes.
as well.
You're not distracted.
Yeah.
So
Is that something you feel throughout the whole hike, or are there moments where
Yes.
you're like,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel, this sounds really bizarre, but I feel almost like an animal.
Yes, you do. All your instincts
Strange
are
thing to say,
heightened.
A bear cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a bear cat.
No, a kangaroo maybe.
yeah. I feel like I often do walk solo because Don's so fast, so I'm often by myself
Yeah.
quite far back.
And sometimes
So
when
I know the feeling.
I'm hiking in a group, say for like an 8-day hike, there are moments when I just think, it's not like I'm annoyed with people, I just think I really want some solo hiking time, so I just go a bit slower, and I take so many photos that it's easy to lag behind.
Yeah, I have a tendency to play. I can't
Oh
help
yeah, me
myself.
too. And I always,
I've
if
gotta
I see
play.
a view or a side
Yeah.
trip or a flower I like the look of, I have to stop and investigate
Yes.
all the things.
We get there eventually.
Yeah.
I guess, you can do it in your own time.
Exactly. You don't have to answer to anyone. I don't have to talk to anyone.
Yeah, it's so
You know,
relaxing.
it's so nice. It's like going to the movies by yourself.
Which I've never
You
done
get to
that.
have that whole box of popcorn to yourself. Eat that choc top.
Not sharing with
No,
anyone.
and not share at all. And it's kind of nice. It's nice to have that moment. You can yell, cry, scream, fart, burp, all of it by yourself.
Have you
And
screamed?
it's great. Oh, I have.
Great.
And it's great.
Yeah.
It's such a release.
As soon as you said that, I was like, that's
I've done
something I
that.
want to do.
I
never
have
done that.
screamed at the top of my lungs, and it's amazing. It just feels so good. You should try it.
I will.
I'm going to try that
It's
too.
such a release.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, you've screamed at Don, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I've done that a few times at poor Mark. Yeah.
Usually we're singing loudly, which
Oh, yeah.
probably sounds like
Screaming. Yeah. Yeah, that's my voice.
Is it the same feeling when you get to the campsite or wherever you decide to camp for the night?
I love camping at night when there's nobody else around. I love just sitting and listening to the sounds around me. There are the moment though where if you listen really, really hard, and then you've got the devil side of you where it says you are alone. You're by yourself.
Yeah.
What is that sound? Oh my God, what is that sound? Oh my God, I don't know what that sound is. Oh, what is it? Oh my God, and you start to lose the plot then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to stop yourself from getting to that point where you scare yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I do. I love it. I love just having that peace and quiet. And it was funny, after one time, it was like 6 days, I hadn't spoken to anybody, hadn't seen anybody.
That sounds lovely.
and it was
does.
great. But then all of a sudden I spoke.
And it's jarring.
Sounded loud.
And
I
it
had
was
that
like,
too.
oh my God, Like,
Yeah.
it shocked me.
Yeah.
Like, I actually opened my mouth and spoke, and it sounded weird.
Do you find if you've been hiking by yourself for a while and then you meet people, not like other hikers you say hi to, but civilized people, and then you feel really antisocial? I know I do. It's not like I just feel really shy and I look away.
You're hobo.
No, it's not even anything about being self-conscious. It's just
Need to learn how to reintegrate with society.
I think if I was solo hiking, especially sleeping at night, I think my inner monologue would end up becoming, what's that noise?
Yeah.
Is that someone? They're coming. Okay, what are you going to do?
it
Okay.
might do, but you can if you're aware of that and
Yeah.
you realise it's just your mind playing tricks on you, or cultural conditioning of what all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then you can work through it. Like I know I've had, especially when I was new to solo hiking, I've had a few really scary nights. I once I hiked to Bearer King on the Bibbulmun track by myself, and I had like Friday afternoon off work, so I left late in the day and was walking at night. And it's funny because I wouldn't be scared of this now, but a few years ago it was really scary to hear some distant gunshots during the night while I was walking. And my friend Natalie, who's done an end-to-end of the Bibbulmun track when she was like 20, she actually told me, if you're heading out to Bearer King, you might hear some gunshots. And then I remembered her telling me that, and it put me at ease because I was like, oh, it's to be expected. But then I got up to the campsite and I could see a bright light of the pig shooters, and it felt like the light was shining at the campsite, even though it totally wasn't. I was really scared, and then I called Natalie, who lives in Sydney now, but she reassured me. She's like, oh, it's okay. And it was. And then since then I haven't really had any scary moments like that. But going through that and working through it just put my mind at ease.
It's a matter of not crossing the line. You get to that line where you're comfortable, but the moment you let your mind go over the line, that's when you can lose it.
But I think being aware, analysing what are the real risks and dangers.
Yeah.
Also analysing, why do I feel this way? Is it something to do with my upbringing? Like I can think of a few times, not when I was that young, but say when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to walk in Kings Park, even though I lived 10 minutes walk from Kings Park. And it's my mum and dad trying to protect me. They're terrified of like rapists and stuff. Even though it's very probably low risk, but it was their fears being put onto me. Even though they're very happy for me to go hiking. They love that I'm a hiker and adventurous. But yeah, they would never let me walk in Kings Park. And so I always had that in the back of my mind, that fear. And then the first time I did go for a run in Kings Park by myself, of course I got followed by a sleazy man in a car and called out at. So I was like, that doesn't really inspire confidence when you want to go off hiking by yourself. And it's all those little things that happen in your upbringing, I think, contribute to the fear. That maybe men have the fear as well, but I don't think, maybe not quite so much because they have a different cultural things at play.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think my coping mechanism is, if I do get a bit freaked out, is to talk myself, calm my own farm down.
Yeah, that's
Talk
a good
myself. Really, if someone's hiding out there in the bush, in the middle of nowhere, waiting for hours for a random solo female to come along just so they can attack, they're probably nuttier.
Yeah.
And probably we could get away quicker than they could catch. But I think the hiking community as a whole is a good group of people.
Oh, definitely.
And they're the people you're going to come across.
Yeah.
I also think, like, why, if we actually name this fear, it's scary men or rapists. That's what we're scared of. But why? Why are we so scared of that?
True.
If you look at the
that's
actual,
what we've been taught.
It's what we've been taught. Also, it's kind of like something that's quite horrific and a bit morbid or whatever. But a lot of it is just the culture we've been brought up in, and every time you turn on the TV and it's like NCIS Special Victims Unit, and it's all like female victims and
sensationalized.
Sensationalized. Being victim of crime type of thing. But the reality, if you actually look at the statistics and think about it just calmly and logically, it's not that big a risk, even if it does feel scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is those doubts that other people put upon you as well.
Oh, definitely.
Why are you going out along? Are you going to be safe? I used to get a little bit annoyed with a few people that would say things to me, because I would think, well, don't you think I'm prepared? Don't you think I can do this? Why are you doubting me? I've got confidence in myself. I know I'm strong. I know I can do the distance. I'm prepared. I've got everything I need. I've got contingency plans in place. I've got communication. I've got PLBs. I've got just about everything except the kitchen sink because I am a chronic overpacker. But, you know, it's kind of a bit of a slight on me that they don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, me too.
I have told a few people off.
I've had that quite a few times. I don't know if it's because I'm a woman. It might just be.
I like to think
Anyway.
it's because people don't trust other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than
Rather than your
I think
ability.
a lot of it is their own fear.
Yes, it is. It's other people projecting their own fear.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it
It's
is. A
because
lot of
they're
the time.
scared to do it. They
Yes,
think that
very true.
you would be.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
They're
always
scared
ask
for you.
me, "Aren't you scared?" And I look at them and say, "What?"
Yeah, exactly.
That I'm more scared hiking around my neighbourhood at night than I am out in the bush. Like, there's more crazies in the city than there is out in the bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more worried in the bush. I'm worried about getting really sick or falling.
Yes.
Or
That is more of a fear
bushfire.
for me.
But that's rational.
yes.
And that's for
Yeah.
anyone, regardless of
oh,
who you are
definitely.
and how old you are and
Yeah.
your
But
experience.
it's weird that doesn't stop people from getting out and giving it a go, whereas
Yeah.
the solo female hiker, scary men, stupid fear
Yeah.
does stop
prevents
people.
them. Yes,
Yeah.
it's really sad because there's a lot
is,
of
it's very
women
sad.
missing out. But I have noticed, and we were talking about this a lot earlier, I have noticed there's been a huge turn in women hikers.
Yeah.
There's a lot more women hikers out there, and I did hear, and it's only hearsay, that there are more female solo hikers now on the bib than men.
The male solo hikers.
Male solo hikers.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So I think that's pretty good. And I have noticed over the last few years more women and younger women out there I come across,
Cool.
which is really great to see. So, yeah,
What do you
maybe
think?
we're
There's
winning
Something
this.
that I've noticed and that it's also my own experience is a lot of younger women seem to have a lot more fears and also worries about other things like, oh, I don't know, having hairy legs for 8 days or
Not showering.
Yeah. But then as women get older, this is all generally speaking, obviously there are exceptions to everything, they seem to become more confident. And I know I've had that experience myself. Like I used to do a bit of solo hiking when I was like 18, 19, but it was always a really big deal, kind of scary and daring. Whereas now it's just completely normal. And I know a lot of older women are really into hiking, solo or otherwise, especially retirees.
Yeah, because they've had their life of, especially if they've had children, so they've had their life of having responsibility all the time and having to be there for other people.
this is now time for them.
Exactly. And all of a sudden, like for me, for instance, I'm become an empty nester and my life is mine. I'm still mum, but I'm not mum 24/7 anymore. And yeah, so you get this sense of freedom and it's exciting. So when you get to my age, you're like, party time.
That sounds
This is-
great.
It's
But do you
exciting.
think that's applicable to men as well? I think a lot of the things we'll talk about today are actually
I think
applicable
they
to men and
are
women.
in a different
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's when the men go and get their convertible cars.
Or become hikers.
Become hikers. Yeah.
I was going to say, or get the giant caravan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
My grandma and granddad did that. They had an awesome time, like grey nomads. Although
Yeah.
I often think if I won lotto, I'd become a golden brown nomad.
Yeah.
Take to the roads and the hiking trails.
Yeah,
of course.
we've got plans for that too.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier as well about maybe a lot of younger women taking up hiking kind of as it's more popular in terms of fitness and I don't know, also there's obviously Instagram and the kind of Instagram worthy activities.
In recent years, it's become trendy. It used to be daggy.
Yep.
I remember when it was daggy, and I had no friends to go hiking with. I used to go by myself.
I still feel very
And then I
daggy.
used to go with my boyfriend at the time. And yeah, it's like the ultimate daggy thing to do. I still feel daggy with
Yeah.
I don't wear.
Yeah, I still feel daggy with the hiking pants and the t-shirt and the poles, and everyone else is out there in their skin-tight leggings and the crop tops.
say-
And
No, but the leggings, they
that-
can be
that-
quite practical.
Yeah, exactly.
And I sometimes I do
That's my
wonder if there's a
fashion.
slight sexist element to the criticism of the leggings crowd.
I wear leggings hiking.
I wear leggings sometimes.
But they're like Kmart leggings.
Yeah,
and they're
I've got
things
some
like you
Lululemon leggings and some Target leggings, and on some hikes they're practical, on others they're not. I
Yeah,
wouldn't wear them on
you
an
have to be
off-track.
prepared to rip and you have to be prepared to sweat and slip in mud.
Well, they're
if-
practical for a day hike.
Yeah.
On trail hike.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've done multiple hikes with leggings before I really got into some more hardcore
Oh, I started off in
Pants.
jeans. Can you?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
no.
Seriously?
So did I.
I know it's
How
terrible.
hot and heavy.
I
Oh
know.
my God.
And now I'm involved in a hiking club, and on the event descriptions, and I put what to wear and what to
No
carry.
jeans.
And always, especially an overnight hike, I say, absolutely don't wear jeans.
Yep.
And it's because I've learned from terrible experience. I did a 37-kilometre hike around, like when I lived in Sydney, wearing jeans, and it was just so uncomfortable. And I think that's the turning point. And then I started hiking in leggings or shorts. And these days I've got hiking pants, which they're good for what they're designed for, hiking.
My first overnight hike, multi-day overnight hike, was from Bibbulmun Track, Albany to Denmark, and I wore black jeans and what I thought was a rain jacket, but turned out to be like an 80s PVC lightwear.
A shell jacket.
Yeah, a
So
shell
uncomfortable.
jacket, and it rained like the first day was
horrendous.
nice, and then like from Sandpatch onwards it was bucketing rain, and pretty much every morning I'd put on these soggy,
Oh,
heavy,
no.
wet black
Yeah.
jeans.
I don't know why I used to wear jeans for so many hikes, and I don't know why I persevered with it. I think it's just I didn't know any different.
You
And so
think
I'd
of
walk
them
through
as hardy
puddles and-
pants.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
I think of them
why.
as durable.
Yeah.
But then they'd soak up all the water when you walk through a puddle.
Yeah.
Just horrible.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine wearing jeans.
Oh, it's
at
because
all.
I started hiking when I was quite young, and I didn't
Yeah.
research it or anything. It's just
I wear dresses hiking.
I noticed.
just
it-
You've got a
sometimes-
really funky style when you
You
go
do.
hiking.
It's
Alissa.
often I just
love
can't
your
be
style.
bothered. I don't really love my hiking pants.
Yeah, fair enough.
I wear them for like multiple hikes because multi-day hikes now. I realize that they have like a functional purpose, but in terms of how I feel in them, I'm not a pants wearer. Like literally a pants wearer in my day-to-day life.
But with a dress, you can
So-
put that on over leggings anyway.
Yeah, so I usually like what I'm wearing right now. I'm pretty sure I have hiked in.
And
Yes.
what she's wearing right now, for all the listeners that are at home,
Paint me
is
a picture.
is this beautiful red
It's like a
Baby
cotton
doll?
with
baby
cherries
doll
on it.
dress.
It's got little miniature white cherries on a red dress.
Yeah, with little
she's looking
bows.
gorgeous.
The most dainty dress a very clumsy hiker could wear.
No, I've hiked in dresses before, and there's really no reason not to. If it's summer on coastal hikes, I often hike in a dress.
You were in your dress the other week
I
when we
was,
went up
and
to...
I think that was the most appropriate
Seabird.
thing to wear on that hike because we were wading through water, and it was just like a simple cotton dress, a hot summer's day.
Yep.
And or even sometimes, because I'm such a keen hiker, I drive straight from work down south to do a bit of the Bibbulmun, and I just wear my work dress. And then I hike to the first campsite at night. wearing
Whatever
my
gets
work
the
dress
job
and-
done.
Yeah,
Look, I think you should wear whatever is comfortable for you.
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
But also take
doesn't
safety.
need to be labelled.
Take safety into mind. Like if you're going into an alpine area, as they say, cotton kills. Don't wear your jeans and cotton.
No,
shirt.
don't wear your jeans. Jeans are the one no.
Yeah.
Lou, have you done many solo hikes?
Most of my day hikes would probably be solo now. Bit of a loser with no friends to go hiking with. Happy to tag on to anyone's hike. But yeah, solo ones, I'd say at least 60-70% on my own for day hikes.
Yep.
But that's cool. I enjoy it. I love the time alone. Process so much in my head as I walk alone. Go at my own speed, don't have to wait for anyone. I am a little bit of a speedy hiker, which can annoy people in groups,
Yep.
particularly towards the end of the day. I seem to speed up for some reason. But most people I go with know that that's just me. But when I'm on my own, I don't have to think about it and just go for it.
Yeah, great.
I don't know how we get along, Louise. We do.
We do. We do, people.
I'm hanging back, taking my photos, like when we did the Hakea Trail. But
Yeah.
that was fine. Like, I don't think either of us minded. We were with other
No.
people as well. But I was in this really dreamy solo hiker feeling. So I was like, I just want to let them go on ahead, and I want to just look at everything and take photos. And it's almost like time slows down. And then it worked out because we were doing a car shuffle and stuff anyway. So I was going to have to wait around at the end. And I was carrying a PLB. So, yeah.
And that was cool. I got to go and
Yeah.
get the car and come back and pick her up.
Yeah,
Aww.
thank you, Louise.
It's always good when you find your rhythm.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you don't want to hike just with fast. You want to kind of have a little moments by yourself.
yeah.
Where
But
you,
I
yeah.
can hike
Be-
fast. Like when it's a night hike, I'll often hike really fast
Yep.
because I'm not taking photos. It's strange. Or maybe not so strange. Or if my camera battery runs out, then I suddenly pick up the pace.
I hike super fast when I know there's a track town coming.
Oh, yeah. With that glint of pie in the eye. That's what Don and
Or
I
a
call
pub, pub and a beer.
That beer is
Pie in the
sitting
eye.
there waiting for me.
Yeah. We have the 10 on the plate.
Show no mercy. I'm on my way.
Yep. It's always that nice feeling when you're packing up and you're like, right.
Having a real meal
Yeah.
tonight, not
Tonight.
a dehydrated one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Today is town day.
Yep.
Actually, I hike really fast. If I'm feeling a bit grumpy, I'll hike really fast.
Yep, I've done that before. Where
Yep,
it's like
taken
you're
out.
just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
And you get in your head, so you're maybe not spending as much time taking in the surroundings
Yeah.
and distracting yourself.
But when I'm fully at one with the surroundings, I just... Yeah,
It's just
I'm like,
flitting from tree to tree to
it's
tree.
like I don't know what the word is. I waft from tree to tree.
Yeah.
That sounds really gross.
Chassé.
Flit.
Yeah, flit.
That's fast.
Prance from tree to tree.
Yeah, I prance from tree to tree and I get really enthusiastic. So yeah, maybe I do move quickly from leaf to leaf and pebble to pebble. But then I look at everything, look at all the insects and the petals on the flowers.
Yep.
I feel slightly oxymoronic or foxymoronic being here today, even talking about solo women hikers, because or like International Women's Day. So
Yeah.
I feel like putting such an emphasis on it as if it's something extraordinary is part of what makes it seem like a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a thought of mine, and I've in the past I've said that people have taken it the wrong way and thinking I'm belittling people's fears or whatever, and I'm not at all. I felt those fears and I understand it, but I also think the more normal it is and the more everyday it is,
Yeah.
the less daunting it seems.
Yep.
Like if you go on, say, the hiking Facebook groups and you see all the women chatting away about their hikes, and the cultural thing of, say, people as you're growing up making you feel like you're unsafe to do things alone.
Yep.
Also the opposite. If you see women out there just going for hikes, or women who've got hiking blogs or
Yep.
on social media and they're just treating it like a normal thing, then it's no big deal.
It's just
Yeah.
breaking down those fears and just normalizing it by
Exactly.
creating normal, everyday, honest conversations.
So the
which-
more
So
you
I-
hear about it, the more it's spoke of, the more it's done, the more normal it is.
And
Yeah.
the more it's
Yeah.
spoken of not as something out of the ordinary. So that's why, like, I'm very happy to be here today and have this
Yeah,
conversation. But I also feel like having all these conversations over and over again and having the questions come up in the forums over and over again, solo female hiker this, solo female hiker that.
Yeah.
No one's talking about solo male hiker because they're just the default
Hikers,
hiker.
yeah.
They're just hikers.
Yeah.
But we're just hikers too. Solo female hikers. We're just hikers.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Totally
agree.
agree.
And having done most of my hiking on my own, it's just the norm to
It's
me.
no big
So I
deal.
don't need that solo in front. I'm
Even
just
though
going
we are
Or
hiking.
here-
even that
Here
female.
today
Yeah.
making...
Hiker.
we don't need it. We're just hikers. Even though we're here today talking about women who hike,
Yeah.
and we'd never have a bunch of men talking about, oh, maybe you would, blokes who hike.
Maybe that's another podcast.
Yeah.
Men who hike.
Men who
There you go. We need to balance this out.
Don has a very good Aussie man voice. I'm sure he can put on for that.
Look forward to hearing it.
Speaking of solo hiking, the opposite in terms of big group hiking, have you guys ever hiked in kind of exclusively... I mean, there's obviously organised exclusive female groups that hike together, but then obviously there's just the natural camaraderie of hiking with your friends who happen to be ladies.
Yeah, I have. I've experienced both. I've experienced small groups of women as well as larger groups of women
Yep.
hiking. And yeah, it's quite good. It's quite fun. I'm not big myself personally on big group hikes. Can't really say why.
I'm not either, and very strangely, I organise them.
Yeah.
That's because
Good,
you
yeah.
care about getting people out.
Yeah, I do.
and
And
involved.
I enjoy them, but my preference is for smaller groups. And it's kind of funny because it's like, oh, I should probably let 22 people, maximum number of people on this because there's a wait list. But really, the ones I enjoy most have like just a small group, which is not to
Yeah.
say I don't enjoy meeting people in a big group. I do. But yeah,
I think the
small
bigger the
groups
group,
is-
the more dynamics there are. But in saying that, I have been in large groups and it's been so much fun
That's true.
because you meet so many different personalities. So it's
Yeah.
sort of like it's contradicting itself in a way. Sometimes it can be really painful.
Yeah. And
But
sometimes it
other
can be
times
awesome.
it can be just amazing.
Yeah, and you can mean really good friends.
Yeah.
Through going on
Yeah,
group
and
hikes.
walking with women's group is very different than walking with men, in the sense that women tend to open up a little bit more. They're
That's
more,
true.
they're more
Generally speaking.
Generally
Not
speaking,
always.
and it can be quite interesting.
I've never actually walked in a big solely woman's group. In fact, my first group hike was a smallish one of maybe 12, and that's when I first met Don and Alissa and Mark. And we've kept in touch since, and they've welcomed me along on other hikes. Much appreciated. Thank you.
It's always been fun.
But as a group of women, I suppose the closest I can think of would be a group of 4. And it was when we decided to enter the Oxfam Trail Walk in Perth the initial year. I ended up doing 5 trail walks, raising money. I walked with one woman for all of those hikes. We broke people every year and had to get new team members every year.
Hiker trainers, breaking the horses kind of thing.
Some just didn't cut the mustard, sorry girls. But walking, the 4 of us, no matter which 4 it was, we never ran out of anything to talk about. Always something to talk about. We had our quiet moments, we had our crazy moments, we had tears on the trail. We had so much fun. We did happy dances. We ate so well. It was just awesome.
May I ask though, would it have been different if there was a man in your group?
Probably wouldn't have had some of the discussions that we've had.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, some of the more personal things or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had most of my group hiking, when I think about it, very, very few hiking, other than going for a walk with one friend. Most of my group hiking has been either with men where I'm the only woman or a mixed group, but I find the group hikes I do, the overnight hikes anyway, it's mostly guys come along. I've made lots of really, really close friends and things, like a lot of male friends and female friends through that. But I think there's one time when I went with a group of women and I did notice the dynamic was different and I really liked it. And I'm actually going hiking with them again in April. We're going to do the Carnarvon Gorge Great Walk. We call ourselves the Gorgeous Girls.
Yeah.
We did it's really a bit silly. We did Catherine Gorge 5 days together and then 2 days canoeing.
Yep.
It was absolutely epic. And then just by coincidence, we're getting together again and doing Carnarvon Gorge.
You'll have to only exclusively do gorges with these friends.
They're from Brisbane. So last time we met in the middle in Northern Territory. Now I'm going to Queensland and I'm going to try and convince them to come back, and we'll go up to either Karajini or Kalbarri to do some WA gorges.
It's amazing.
But yeah, hiking with them was really, really good. Yeah, we had really in-depth discussions in a way that I feel like more so than I do with my guy friends, even though with my guy friends I do have some intense discussions as well. But it was one of them I hadn't met until that hike. But it was like, so we were instantly really close. And it was also just really freeing, say, just things like if you have your period or something, you don't have to hide it.
Yep.
And I think, well, maybe with guy friends you don't have to hide it. Maybe they'd be fine. But it was just so relaxing not having to not having it be a big deal. Or just anything like that, or just anything that's a bit gross or whatever. You can just talk about it outrageously and laugh.
Yep.
And I don't know why you can't do that with guys, but it's just the way it is.
Have you guys ever felt like going to huts or campsites, any kind of sense of unease or nervousness in terms of kind of personal hygiene or getting changed?
No,
you're
I
totally
have to say I am, I don't have any shame. I am
neither.
sorry.
Not
I have
anymore.
No
I used to.
shame. Yeah, and
Is that something as you've gotten older? You've just
it's gotten worse since I've gotten older.
better. No, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, to the point that I have to remind myself to be thoughtful of others around me.
Fair enough. Yep.
Yeah, where I have to think, okay, I mightn't have any shame, but this person might. So let's just be a bit more respectful.
Well,
to
different
them.
people have different ideas of what respectful is, I suppose.
Yeah.
So you've got to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
But I'm similar. I'm just have zero modesty, so I couldn't care less if people see me naked or whatever. It's like, whatever.
I feel a bit more nervous. I mean, I've gotten better, as you said, as I've gotten older and more confident.
I used to be completely different. I remember on a school camp, we did a big section of the Cape to Cape track, and after days and days of hiking, I had slightly hairy legs. So I was like, oh, I can't go swimming. And then the camp leader, it's so silly. Like now I couldn't care less. And only slightly hairy as well. And then the camp leader was like, why aren't you going swimming, Bonny? You love swimming. And I was like, oh, I've got hairy legs. And she just laughed at me. She's like, who cares?
Aww.
They're furry friends.
I know. It's like things like that I just don't really care about that much anymore. But I used to. And things that, like, just not having a shower for a week, that used to cause me great anxiety.
Yeah.
But then I've realised, it's not a big deal. And if we grew up 100 years ago, we'd be having a shower or bath once a week. And we'd still be healthy. Well, reasonably healthy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And things like getting changed, I don't care. But, yeah, I would go behind the shelter or whatever just to be respectful of other people. 'Cause it can be a bit confronting if someone just strips off in front of you.
Yeah.
So, fair enough. But I go skinny dipping.
Yeah, or I'd be very vocal and be like, "I'm taking off
Oh,
this
that's what I
thing
say.
now. Everybody, if you want to turn around, now's
Look
your
away
time."
now.
And just trying to make a joke out of it, or just be
Yeah, I did that as well.
communicate that now this
I
is going to
say,
happen.
if you don't want to see a performance of the Bare Naked Ladies, turn around now. Do you remember that band had like a
Yes.
one-hit wonder?
Yeah.
Yep, I remember. I have had creepy people not vibe on the "I want privacy" when I'm trying to change.
Oh, okay.
Before, where they just kind of keep staring, and you're like, hello. And I mean, this was a gentleman who was already a bit weird and had shouted at me on the overland track.
Oh, the German.
horrible.
Yeah. So he also, not only did he shout at me in the middle of the night that my
He then stared at you.
yeah,
That's
that my
a bit
mat was
weird.
squeaky. He then
really
was a
weird.
bit weird about staring at not just me. There was like a few young girls on the hike who I felt more for them than me, because I think I kind of was a bit like, yeah, look, blah. Like I was already angry at him, so I kind of didn't care too much. But I felt more for the other girls because I could see them really uncomfortable.
Now that annoys me. Talking about solo women hikers or young women wanting to get out there, that just annoys me if people are being creepy or whatever. It's like way to scare them off.
Yes, I have a feeling he didn't
Maybe he
have
didn't do
the
it deliberately.
understanding or the tact.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe
I think
not.
socially he was a little awkward.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe I got after
that's a
I
bit
kind of got
different.
to know him.
Yeah.
I mean, he still made some bad choices, but I sound like a teacher now. But sorry. But yeah, I have a vibe that he wasn't very self-aware himself. So
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And there, you do. That's something about hiking where you stay in huts and things.
That's social.
Yeah,
It's always
you
a
have to deal
social
with
game as
different
well.
personalities, and sometimes
Yeah.
you meet really strange people.
Yep.
Not
But
necessarily horrible people, just strange.
just oddballs.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's to say you're not the strange one?
Yeah.
Oh,
People might be looking at us that way.
no, I think I might be a bit strange, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
Yeah. Why
I
not?
love it.
Is there anything we haven't spoken about yet?
I mean, I don't know if it's an issue that you guys want to put out there, but, you know, women do have, I know myself personally, I mean, God forbid, I haven't had a period for 10 years. I'm lucky. So, but there's women out there that do, and I imagine you guys all do. So it is a big issue, and I remember years back when I did having to have that issue, you know, hiking through the wilds of Alaska, and half my bag is filled with tampons and pads.
Yeah.
You know, and
No, it
thinking
is an
every
issue.
time, is that bear going to come over here? So it is something that women do worry about.
Especially
And-
young women. I remember our
young
school
women
camps.
are scared to go out because of that reason.
People are scared to go out because of that reason. It's
Yes. And it's not something to be worried
true.
about.
No, it's really not. It's not easy or pleasant or nice, but it's just a little thing you just got to deal with, and it's not that big a deal.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe some people have terrible pains and stuff. That might be different, but
Well, a while back I helped as a volunteer guide for a friend who was doing a Duke of Edinburgh hike for teenagers. Glad to say there was 5 girls and 4 boys. I went along as a volunteer just to help. One of the mums caught up with me at the pre-hike shakedown. We were discussing what to pack, what to take, weight, food, everything, how to pack your pack. And one of the mums said, "I'm so glad you're going," because the hike organiser is a guy, really nice, approachable guy, but she said, the girls won't talk to him about any female issues, so we're glad you're going. And so I said, well, you know, what's the issue? And he said, well, one of the girls is going to get the period while she's away. So I ended up doing a big write-up for the girls, what to do, what to expect if it happens on the trail. Well, what I wrote, I sent to the organiser first and said, is this okay? I don't want to step on anyone's toes. And he goes, oh, no, it's fabulous. You should actually write a blog post about it because it's really good. We had little things like, if you got your period, it's cool. Don't worry about it. If you think you need to go and look after yourself, change anything while you go, we can have a little secret word so that the teenage boys don't know what we're talking about.
But it shouldn't, I know it is a big deal, but it shouldn't be. It should be no different, like going off and doing a wee or something.
No, but teenage boys
and
just
life
don't
would be
cope.
so much easier if you didn't. But that's part of what makes it stressful, is having
having the whole taboo.
The taboo
about it.
makes it stressful, or more stressful than it needs to be.
But we had all these things with the secret word. I said, just hang back, leave your pack at the side of the trail so I know where you left the trail, and I'm not going to be searching through the bush looking for you if you don't come back. Leave no trace with products, waterproof sealed bags for products, not putting anything in the long drop toilets.
Which I think that there's another glaring omission there. The Bibbulmun track doesn't have any information on that whatsoever.
No.
We're talking about the Bibbulmun.
It does in Tasmanian parks. There is
In Tasmania,
yeah,
it
it's
does.
quite
But the
clear.
Bibbulmun doesn't. It
Even
mentions
in the-
nappies and toilet paper and baby wipes.
Yes.
But it doesn't mention tampons
Sanitary,
and
yeah.
pads and that sort of stuff.
Even inside the toilet block, there is nothing. Do not put this down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious.
It's
People should
obvious,
use it.
but it's not obvious if you're 14.
Well,
No.
these girls, most of them were first-time hikers. They had no idea.
Yeah.
So I just said, look, girls, I'm going to put it out there. Here's the conversation we have to have.
Yep.
So the mums were more appreciative, I think, of it. Some of the girls were like, okay, we can do this.
No.
So, yeah.
I think it's so dependent on you personally and kind of how you are with yourself and how also what kind of period you have. So
Definitely
I'm
different
quite
for everyone.
fortunate to not be someone who has a really heavy period. So
Yeah, me too. And I can, when I was a teenager, I did more. And also it's like every 28 days, so I can predict it.
yeah,
But I do know some people who have like severe pain
Yeah,
during
and
that time.
they're the people I really feel for if
Yeah,
they're
that
going on
would
a
be
hike.
difficult.
I'm really lucky.
Yeah.
My tactic is to leave no trace. I just use lots of toilet paper that I know I can flush later on. So
That would be brilliant.
yes. And then
Yeah.
I don't have to carry anything around with me. But that I know that I'm a very fortunate person and that there's so many people out there that don't have that luxury or that option because
Yeah, I
their
know
bodies
that
work
too. Because I always
differently.
say to people, oh, it's no big deal. And in some ways it's not. But I know that some people have terrible pain during that time or like really really heavy periods and things. Or that it's unpredictable. So I think I'm lucky as well. Because like every 28 days and not ridiculously heavy or anything. But yeah, if you do have lots of pain, I could really see that would be a big barrier
Yeah.
to going hiking. But if not, it should not be something to worry about at all. Like I think at the moments when you have to do something about it, it's so annoying and, dare I say, a bit gross or whatever, unpleasant. But while you're hiking along, you're not even thinking about that. It's only like, say, 5 minutes out of the day or out of your hike
Yep.
of just being a bit.
I think it's the whole inconvenience of it.
It's inconvenient,
The
and
carrying
it is.
out.
yeah.
To be honest, it is a little bit gross if you have to carry your used tampons in a bag. It's not pleasant. But
There's so many already unpleasant things about not
Exactly.
showering for 11 days. So it's kind of one in many.
Even in your normal life, it's still a bit gross, even if you put it in the bin or whatever. Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
No different.
My one concession was in Nepal, not having access to showers for 2 weeks or anything like that. My wash consisted of a bowl of hot water and a flannel. Prior to my hike, I actually did go on the pill just so I could manipulate my cycle somewhat to make sure it wouldn't happen while I was away, because we were really walking through very small villages with basic toilets to a point where it was a hole in the ground with leaf litter underneath. Toilet paper was not allowed to go down these long drops. Toilet paper had to go into the bin next to the toilet. So it was only organic matter in the toilet. Everything
would
else
be
had to go
difficult.
into the bin. So there was no way I was leaving a little parcel of surprise.
Yep.
Oh, that's being anxious about it, isn't it?
No, not anxious. No, just didn't want the hassle.
No, I've been anxious about it in the past. I'm not now because I've been going hiking every single weekend, almost. And so it just became a thing. Well, it's really not that big a deal, but I do remember it being feeling like a big deal. And I went on the pill to avoid getting it when I did a mountaineering course as well. But I wouldn't do that now. Now I just roll with it.
So, yeah, I think we should let all the women out there, the young girls, the older women, know that it's not something that should stop them from hiking.
Definitely not.
It shouldn't
No,
be the
definitely
thing
not.
that makes them say, oh, I can't go that weekend because I got my period.
Unless they have terrible pain or they're fainting or something, in which case I think that's
Well, it's
pretty
sort
valid.
of more justifiable. But there are options out there, and I think it's something that women should seek in looking at, like you girls were talking about, adjusting your pill so that you could adjust your cycle.
That's not a bad option.
You've also got the cups that you could use for women out there, and I've known women who have hiked using the cups and they work very well.
I've tried that, and maybe it's because it's the first time I used it, but I don't know.
I think it might be something that's best to try before going on the trail.
Yes, definitely.
Get used to it first, then take it out on the trail. But a lot of women have found that works really, really well. Then you're not carting out used tampons and used pads.
Which is that's not the end of the world either.
It's not.
It's
Extra
just
weight
a bit,
and bulk to carry.
Extra weight, and it's like a bit gross. But
It's a bit
it's
gross,
not the
but
end
I
of the
think
world. If it's
just
in a
get
sealed
over it.
sealed bag, get over it.
Yeah, get over it. Yeah.
I guess it's all hike your own hike. It's
It
whatever
is.
you're prepared to put up
It
with
is.
and whatever
Yeah.
you're prepared.
But what I'm trying to say is that I want people to think, okay, women to think out there, okay, it's not going to define me in going out on a hike. It's not going to
No.
stop me from going out on a hike.
Because
And
you
I'm-
don't think about it while you're hiking. It's just a couple of times a day.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Keep hiking.
And my day job actually is working with a gynecologist, so periods, anything like that does not faze me at all.
So this conversation's very much the norm for
It's
you.
the norm around our tea room.
This
Lunch
conversation is like I feel completely comfortable
Yeah.
talking about it. But strangely, I don't feel comfortable having people know I've got my period. I don't know why that is, but I couldn't just... Well, when I was with like some female hikers or with my sister or something, I'll just talk about it. But say if I'm on a hike or anything else with a group, I'm not going to say, oh, I've got my period, like some people do. Like I do feel a bit weird about that. I don't know why, because I'm not modest in any other way.
It
But
could be thinking about other people's feelings, the same as thinking
Yeah,
about
maybe.
getting undressed in public
Yeah,
spaces
yeah.
in huts and things.
Making
But I think
other
life
people
would be a
uncomfortable.
lot
Yeah.
easier if you could just, like,
Be yourself
wave
without-
your tampons around or whatever.
Oh my God.
But if you could just talk about it really matter-of-factly, I think it would just
Can
be
we
so
say
much
again?
less stressful.
Who's the crazy one?
Yep.
Don't worry, I'm not going to do that.
You guys, when you were talking about the cups, I was thinking about the Shiwis. Have you guys tried the Shiwis?
Oh my
That wasn't
I
that
don't
like
feel
a thing?
the need to.
No,
No,
neither
I
do
don't
I.
need to.
I used to feel like, oh, it's so unfair. Like that's the one moment that I wish I was a man is when I'm weeing in the bush. But I've kind of gotten over that now. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
so
you work it out.
Look, I used to be jealous that I couldn't write my name.
Hey, you could work on that still.
But otherwise, no. I was given a shiwi and I've never used it. I have no desire to use it. I have no issues in doing the good old squat.
Yep.
It does not bother me.
I have no issues either, but sometimes I think I should have more issues because I often, like, I'll do the squat and not necessarily hide perfectly. I think, oh, I don't really care. And I'm like, well, it might give someone a terrible surprise if they come and they can see me, my full moon from down the trail.
I thought you were going to say pee on your shoes, but
Oh, that's
Oh,
weird.
yeah.
That's the
Oh,
bad.
no, when that happens, it's pretty bad.
Thank goodness that doesn't happen often. It's not good.
This is probably not the best place to leave the podcast. And peeing on
If
your
you
shoes.
pee on your shoes, you just have to find a puddle ASAP.
to accidentally fall in, inverted with little commas. Oh,
All right, so what else are we going to talk
I don't
about,
know.
girlie?
how do you guys feel about what you bring on the track? Is there anything that you specifically bring that is catered to you as a lady?
My only concession has been my osprey pack, being a woman's harness to get around the girls.
Yep.
And anything else is not really, I don't go for anything designed for women.
I have an osprey as well, which I think is
Me
designed, and the hips. I think the hip pads
hips.
especially designed.
The osprey
Yeah.
is very well designed for a female body with the hips and getting around, as you would say, Lou, the girls.
Yep.
I've tried many a different brand, and the girls just get in the way.
They do.
Yeah,
I've always
they really
wanted
do.
to wear Don's arm pack.
I
I
can't
tried
wear
an
an
arm pack on before I bought my osprey. I felt like
I
a
did.
cow with udders.
Yeah. I call the bags at the front when I'm talking to Don his fun bags.
No, I like to see where I'm
that's
walking,
brilliant.
and with an arm, you cannot see anything
Yeah.
at all.
I
I
like the
understand
idea
the-
of having things
yeah.
easily accessible at the front.
Yeah,
I did
that
wonder
works.
about where the girls sit behind it.
I think I have
Even though
seen
mine are
ladies wear 'em.
relatively small, but
I know it depends on kind of. I think you can reposition it so it's more comfortable to
goes on
you.
the
Yeah.
side of the girls.
Yeah, so it's a
instead
little
of
more
the front.
side.
Reposition the girls or the
Yeah,
pack.
both. I think there's a delicate balance that happens. There's a little dance going on, especially as you walk.
Yeah.
But no, it's not for me.
No, Don
No.
rocks the arm pack, but just did not suit me. I felt swinging around like udders.
Yeah.
So I've definitely gone
Beautiful.
for the osprey, and that suits me much better.
I can see the appeal of the unpack. This is super daggy. I used to wear a money belt just to keep extra things.
Aww.
That's really funny. Now I've got, with my osprey pack, I've got the little side pockets. But especially if you're carrying a big camera and stuff, the unpack would be brilliant for that. But I would wonder if it gets a bit hot. But let's save this for another, because Don is just sitting there in the corner and he can't say.
That sounds
Shaking his
creepy.
head at us.
Oh, sorry,
Don't
Don.
criticise my
We can
arm.
have another conversation about that maybe,
Yeah.
when you can actually talk about it.
But you say you wear a money belt. I
I
actually
used to. I don't anymore.
with my camera, because I carry a lot of camera gear with me, so I actually wear my pack, my osprey, and I also wear a bum bag on the front.
Yeah, I've been thinking of getting
and it's great.
a fanny pack.
Yeah, it's like a fanny pack. It's great because you
Yeah.
can put all your crap in the front.
Yeah, perfect.
You know, you don't have to take your pack off to get to something. It's
Yeah.
right there in your front.
Yeah, I used to,
No.
it was, say if I did Bibbulman sections, I'd put my little Bibbulman track guidebook and my camera and a muesli bar in my money belt. It looked ridiculous, but who cares?
I think that's why I like wearing my hiking pants on those long hikes. Because
Yes,
that's muesli
one of
bar
the
and
reasons.
everything.
Yep, exactly.
Big pockets.
Even on long day hikes, but then for short hikes, I think leggings are good.
Yep.
But a question I would like to raise, we
Yeah.
talk about how the osprey backpacks are so good for the female form, but if there's a bunch of blokes in this room talking about men who hike, would they be going, oh, this backpack is specifically designed for my broad shoulders and my narrow hips?
I think there are though, aren't there? Like
Or are
actual...
all back? No, just the default everything.
Oh, I was just saying there's a default backpack.
So it's like the backpacks, and it's always, if you look up gear, it's always the male one comes first and the female one comes second. Sleeping bags, it's always the sleeping bags, and then the female specific sleeping bags. Even the comfort rating and everything is like for men, and then the women have to adjust it downwards.
Yeah.
That is a bugbear of mine. I'm like, why is
So you want them to put female first, then men?
No, I just want them to acknowledge that females is not like a special niche category, and it's not. Sometimes the way they describe the gear specific to the female form, it's as if having a female body is some sort of barrier to being able to hike. That's not true.
I think, isn't it a little bit partly to do with like a physical wider hips? So
Yeah, but what
like,
about
turning on
physical
your
broader
side?
shoulders?
Yeah.
It's why is that the default?
Yeah.
And I love my big hips that stick out. They're like a shelf. My backpack doesn't slide down. Oh, those poor men with their narrow hips. They'd have to have a special thing where they can tighten their hip belt.
Yeah.
They do.
You know?
I watch my husband quite often. I'm behind him, and he's forever having to hitch his pack up because he hasn't got the arse
Yeah.
and he hasn't got the hips.
My ass is like a shelf.
It is.
Yep.
It
Very
holds it all together. It's fantastic. I love
I get
my arse and
my
hips.
pack rubs on the top of my butt.
Yeah.
It's
And I
also,
get a
if you've got
lovely
a bit of
chafing
cushion
mark
on your ass, it's also
while
good
we're
if
sharing.
if you have a slip on the pea gravel too.
Yes. Comfort fall.
You end up like a turtle on your back.
Yeah. Yeah,
done that many a time.
mine sits right up on my hips.
Yeah.
So my pack sits higher than it's supposed to, I think. But you make it work.
works.
Yeah, you find what works for you. And I think each pack, even like I've got my Osprey, but I've tried other people's Osprey that doesn't feel as comfy as the one I'm used to. And you just learn to...
You actually mould into your pack.
Yeah.
Like when you first get it, it's like a pair of boots. They're all stiff and hard. And it takes a while for it to mould into your body.
Yep.
So then, if I was to give you my pack right now to try and, it's not going to be comfortable because it's moulded into my body.
Yeah. And all the straps and the heights for your own body.
And I love it because I put it on now and it's like,
comfy.
Yeah,
It's a hug.
it's a friend.
it's it's your long lost friend, and it's always nice to say hi again.
I feel like that about my tent as well.
Yes.
It's like my special home.
It is. It's your little cocoon. It's your little house, your little safety place.
It's your little
where you
constant.
Yes.
Something the
No
same,
matter where you
where
are,
you are.
and then so
I like that.
especially my old tent, which was a bit heavy compared to my new tent, but I've got these really fond memories of it, like camping on Three Bears Beach on the Cape to Cape track, and it was so scary because I could hear the waves, like there was winter, massive waves, so it felt like the waves were about to come in and wash my tent away. They weren't. Or like when I was on the Stirling Ridge and like that night when we camped, the wind was just the strongest wind I've ever been in. It sounded like a plane taking off, and the tent was bending and everything. And then I just got all the memories like that. And my tent was faithful to me and it stood strong. And then every time I go in my tent, I'm like, oh, this is really comfortable and I feel so safe.
Yeah.
My old tent
Very
had a name.
sentimental.
It was called Sunshine.
Oh, that's a really nice name.
And I named it because when I was hiking through Alaska, it didn't matter what peak I was on, I could look back and I could see it.
Oh, yeah. I like having a bright coloured tent for that reason.
Yes. So I called it Sunshine.
That's nice. Is it yellow?
Yes.
My new tent's yellow. I won't call it
Good name.
Sunshine.
Banana.
Banana.
Banana-rama.
We were talking about equipment design specifically for women. I'm the kind of person who does not really care whether it's for a woman or a man.
As long as it does
If the
job.
pants fit, I'm wearing the pants. If
Yeah.
the boots fit, I'm wearing the boots. If the boots are a better deal and they're on sale and they're men's, I don't really care if
Very
it's
shizzle.
Yeah. I think it depends on you personally. Like for myself, I've got big size 12 feet. Now that's 45 UK if anyone wants to know. They're huge. So I most of the time have to wear men's
Yeah.
just to fit my feet.
Yeah.
I have been known to wear men's pants. Because I'm a big girl. And sometimes the women's sizes don't get to my size.
Yeah, Kathmandu size 18, not comfy on me. No. I have to go up and I have to go men's.
The best.
You don't find the legs are too long or that the waist is loose and the hips are
because I'm
tight?
very tall. The waist is the issue for me.
Yeah,
I have to
that's
take
an
it in
issue
because
even
I've got a
with
little
some women's
waist. I've got a small waist, big ass, big hips.
I think I'm in
Big
the
chest,
same camp as you,
but a
Michelle.
little waist.
I'm in the same camp as well. A lot of pants kind of fall down, or if they don't fall down, they're really tight around my thighs.
Yes, and I don't like Mark would always say to me, wear a belt. I don't want to wear a belt.
No.
Belts are uncomfortable. Why do I want to wear a belt?
It's the first thing I throw out when I buy a pair of pants.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, that's interesting. A lot of men do wear belts.
Yes, Mark
That's-
wears belts
yeah.
all the time, but he has to. He's got no arse and no hips, so his pants fall down constantly.
That's where my problem is. I'm fairly straight up and down.
You've got no arse and no hips.
I do have a bit of an arse and a bit of a hips. I actually buy a fair bit of guys' gear just because it's there and it's on sale and it fits and it does the deed. I'm fairly tall. It's longer in the leg.
Yeah.
Suits
Yeah.
me.
And
Because
having
you
a
have
pack.
got very long legs too.
I do tend
Yeah.
to lose
Yeah.
it off my bum though. There's many a time I've had my ass hanging out as I've been going up a hill. Sorry to the people behind
Had the old money slot.
me. Yeah. So I'm constantly pulling them up. If you see me doing the old shuffle, that's just me reorganising my pants.
What were you like around like circa 2001 when that was all the rage to have the low pants?
Low riders. I was probably just too much of a dag.
Totally
then.
off topic, sorry.
Yeah.
Would have been very fashionable then.
Yeah. But I guess one of the things I've always wondered, I don't notice it here myself so much, but in America I think women's gear costs a lot more.
Yes,
Oh,
they
really?
do.
Does it? I've not really noticed
I'm
it
not
costing
too
any
sure.
more here.
I
Dislike,
can't,
if that's the
I can't
case.
say that I've really noticed it that much here, but I have read a lot about people complaining that women's gear costs a lot more.
No need for
I
it.
personally don't think that's a standout issue here.
No, I haven't noticed that.
I
But it
haven't
wouldn't.
either.
If that was the case, I would be really.
Annoyed.
You know,
I would
I've bought a lot of gear, a lot of male gear and female gear, and I can't say that it's any different.
Yeah,
to tell you
I haven't
the
noticed.
truth.
Sometimes you might go online and the default version is on sale and the female specific version isn't. But sometimes it's vice versa as well.
The only thing I can say is I've noticed there's more sizes catering to a larger male than there is to a larger female. And I don't know whether that's just me shopping in places like Kathmandu and then going to places like when there was a Mountain Design and there was other brands and me just noticing by comparison that I was able to find my size in a man's but not so much.
Yeah,
That's
the
interesting though, because my
females-
dad is a larger man. He's 6'5", and he's got legs like tree trunks, or King Jarrah tree trunks, let's say. And I know he had a really difficult time finding hiking pants.
I'm probably thinking about more width than length.
Oh no, he's both. He's got like mass.
Oh, okay.
He's tall and stocky
Yep.
at the same time, so he has trouble finding hiking clothes as
Yeah.
well. So I don't know. Or
No.
you probably know if you've been trying to find the clothes and you can't find them. But I do wonder if that's a universal thing.
Mark does have trouble finding pants for himself because he's he's
Is he
6
really
foot
tall as well?
4,
Yeah.
and he's a strong build. Out of all the brands out there, MacPac actually, their sizing in comparison, if you were to have a look at the size comparison of MacPac, Columbia, North Face, all those MacPacs size, say 12 to 14 or 14 to 16, is actually a good centimetre bigger, or sometimes cases 2 centimetres bigger in the pants, wider, than it is those other brands.
Yeah.
So MacPac, I'm not sponsored by MacPac, but
You'd be happy to be sponsored by
I'd
Backpack?
love
Sure.
But it would be good if they just all the brands just put in some like
Standard
different
sizes.
or different sizes, not just the middle range.
there actually are some brands that even go up to size 22. I've even seen one brand that went up to size 28, which surprised me. But that's one of the American ones.
But then it
But
would be
here in Australia, we have a great difficulty getting anything that's over a 16.
yeah, and that's the same for gear in general. We don't get the full range that they get in other countries.
No, we don't.
And then I
do my
also
shopping
wonder if it
overseas.
was like a one of those sizes, would it still be cheap, or would they be, because it's rarer or whatever, they'd put the prices up? Because if they do, that would be annoying as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that. But there is something that I noticed, and it was in one of the hiking stores, and I did actually mention this to the manager, and I won't say which hiking store, but I was making observations, and they catered more for men than women.
I've noticed that. I commented, I think I
And-
might know the hiking store. I have commented, and they took it really well. They were like, oh, yeah.
Maybe because I'd already said something.
I also
But-
commented, I just made a snide remark because I was at the time looking for sleeping bags. I ended up buying a quilt online. But they were like, oh, yeah, we've got this and this and this. Oh, and then this one you might really like, but we don't have it in stock, but we can order it in. The female-specific Cedar Summit, the one female-specific one, and then all the default ones. And I just made a snide remark about that. And then I immediately felt a bit guilty. I was like, oh, that's not his fault. But then he took it really well. He was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, I asked him the question. I wasn't attacking him. I was just asking him the simple question, is it because there's more male customers? And he couldn't answer that.
Yeah.
So I still don't know the reason why. Yeah.
And
I
now
might
you're
know where it was.
making me reflect on one of the stores I've been into, and I think, although I didn't say anything,
Yeah.
I'm picturing it in my mind now.
So we're all going to go into these stores now and take note, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's a really interesting way to think about it. Like to, go in and see how it's advertised and promoted, and
Yeah, it's just me being my usual curious me.
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Asking questions.
Yeah,
It's good.
why is this?
Yeah.
Why is this
that's
so?
good to ask questions.
Speaking of questions, if you have any suggestions or questions for future podcasts, please email us at realtrailtalk@gmail.com. And I'd like to say a really big thanks to our guests tonight. We have Michelle Ryan, Bonny Wells, Louise Jorgensen, And also a big thank you to everyone for listening. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And if you have enjoyed this episode, please give us a rating on iTunes, Podbean, or wherever you are listening to us on. Thanks again, and look out for Don and Mark, who will be back again in 2 weeks.